Hey everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this Warhammer motivation video thingy series that I kind of have going on. I don't know, I kind of like this series. So today we are going to talk about the upcoming future. It's always upcoming future. It is never a not upcoming future. There is always upcoming future. I don't know. We're talking about this year, 2025, which I had to double check so I don't say 2024 or 2026 because I am dumb when it comes to years for some reason. The previous year has seen a lot of growth in my Warhammer collection, as well as a lot of really dumb things that I've bought and dumb things that I've done. Dumb things that I've done. There we go. I have been trying to play more in the local tournament scene here in Iceland, though I don't know what it is. Everyone there is super nice. Everyone there is super welcoming. I just have a mental block when it comes to doing tournament games. I love doing tournament games. It's just, for some reason, I am stopping myself, and I'm going to try to change that. That is one of the big things I'm going to try to do more in the upcoming year is play more tournaments. I'm going to try my best. So I'm excited about that. The previous year, 2024, we've seen some really cool models and some really dumb models. I still think, hands down, the best model of 2025 is Merry and Pippin with sniper rifles. Nothing will beat that. I bought that model immediately, and that model is absolutely great. 2025 is already starting off with a bang with the new Fulgrim model, and while it's not as good looking as its 30K counterpart, it is still a beautiful model, and I fully intend to get it because I have Angron and Mortarius, apparently. I combined Magnus and Mortarian's name together, but I do have Magnus. I do want to get Mortarian, and I do need a new Guilliman. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my Guilliman. I looked through my entire collection, and I just could not find him. I think at some point I may have traded them for something, but I intend to get a new one so that I can finish my Primarch series. So I have all the Primarchs for 40k. And then eventually I might do 30k, but a lot of the 30k Primarchs just look kind of bad. So I kind of been skipping them. Third-party Primarchs have just looked better. The only exception are the later Primarchs like Lionel Johnson, Sanguinius. Those look amazing. But there is a lot of stuff that I do want to talk about. I even made a bingo card. So I posted this on my Blue Sky and my Twitter. Yes, it's Twitter. I don't care if you call it X. You probably have those, but you know, it's still Twitter to me, and I'm always going to call it Twitter. But let's dive into this. Let's see what we got. So we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about upcoming stuff. And you know what? Let's just talk about this first. Deathcore Krieg. So new armies, I want to start in the upcoming year. As weird as it is, probably none. I just want to complete armies that I have now. I want to complete my Sola Exilia. My Sola Exilia is a massive collection. I have tons of tanks, I have tons of dudes, but I want to finish the army, and I think this is the best way of doing it. By getting some of these Deathcore Kriegers, I can use them as militia and as Sola Exilia for 30k. I am going to be switching all their helms, and I know that's very controversial to a lot of you guys. You guys absolutely love the Deathcore, and I get it. They look really cool, but I'm going to be removing the silly-looking heads and helms and replacing it with Sola Exilia silly-looking heads and helms so that they fit more into the theme of my army, but they count as my elite choices because I like their outfits a little bit better than the standard rifle section elites for Sola Exilia. And I think they'll work, and I really want these guns just because I really like emplaced weapons. They're really funny. And weirdly enough, in Heresy, for some reason, these things don't count as artillery. They don't have the artillery keyword. But yeah, so I really want to look into expanding my collection when it comes to the Deathcore Krieg, and mostly using them as Sola Exilia. I think they'll fit in perfectly, and this is the second part of an army that I want to collect. So I want to get about 2,000, maybe 3,000 points of Deathcore Krieg to add to my Sola Exilia. My Sola Exilia already has like 80, 90 bodies. Let me check real quick. I actually have it sitting right over here. I gotta move a secret project that we're gonna be showing in just a moment. I gotta move some junk that I stored on top of this. But this is the infantry that I have for my Solo Auxilia. There is a lot, and it's mostly plasma guns, because I wanted 6 command squads with all plasma guns, and so I got 6 command squads with all plasma guns. I think they're super nice. But I do want to start moving into getting these, and yeah. For militia, heavy weapon teams can be taken as troops in squads of 10, so I intend to get 30 of these, which is a lot. I'm going to need some help with that. But these guys are also really good as discipline masters for the militia. You got some medics and other stuff that could be used alongside them. Some really good commander models. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to get this set and check it out and, you know, build up my collection from there. The horses and everything, and even the horse commanders, can all be used in Heresy. In fact, if you take a lord on a mount, you can get mounted, you can just get 10 mounted fast attacks in each squad. So you can have a squad of, I think you can have a total of 30 horses. And they don't have to just be horses. Like, you could be mounted on bikes, on beasts, on demons, on anything, and just be Solo Auxilia. Or not Solo Auxilia, militia. I'm going to be using militia and Solo Auxilia interchangeably because I use them both for both armies anyway. So yeah. And speaking of, let's take a look at this Fulgrim model. I intend to get this model. This model is absolutely gorgeous, except for the face. But I'm not sure if the face is bad because of the paint job or the face is bad because of sculpt. There are some other faces that we can see here. Most of them kind of suck, where this one being the best. So I'm not sure if it's the paint job or what, but the faces of Fulgrim just kind of look meh to me. I might scour some of my bits to find an old Keeper of Secret faces and put it on them, see if it fits, and see what I like. But I don't know yet. I really like Fulgrim. I always thought he looked amazing. His 40k version is definitely more masculine, whereas 30k demon form is a little bit more feminine. And I really like that because it's a good parallel between both Fulgrims. And I feel like if you're going to have a fun game with Fulgrim in 40k, what you could do is switch out both models. But, you know, that's just me. And yeah. Overall, I think this model is fantastic. He has a massive penis on there. But yeah, that is a massive codpiece. Like, that is a gigantic codpiece. But I intend to get this model. I am excited for it. Now, what about this secret project that I'm working on? Well, you guys know that I have a Sister of Battle cosplay. And the cosplay is very old at this point and has taken a beating. During this year, my intent is to repair, replace, and maybe even get a new Sister of Battle cosplay. It's been breaking at conventions at this point, and I think it's time for a new one. And you guys, if you know, I moved from Arizona. Well, I moved from New York to Arizona, from Arizona to Iceland. Don't ask. There were weird things. But during that move, I did lose my bolter. And my bolter was a combi bolter. It was a combi melta. So finally, I want to show its replacement. This is my new bolter. Ignore the front. We're going to be cutting all this off to make way for the combi portion of it. Since we have the... Whoops. I gotta make sure that stays closed. We have the cylinder for the combi melta already. And the drum magazine, because of course I have a drum magazine on my bolter. My bolters always have drum magazines. It's the one that makes the most sense if you have a weapon like this, especially if you're going to be out in the field for a long time. But the cool part is this. I can, it's a little difficult, but change it. So I can have different ammunition for my bolt gun. And it actually switches really easy and holds on really tight, so I'm not too worried about like it falling off or anything. And if you notice, this part it's fully mobile. So I'm really happy with this bolter. It was printed by my friend Johan, and otherwise known as Necron Yon. And I absolutely love this thing, but it is hefty. So this thing's going to cost me a bit to travel with, but I overall think it's worth it. And we're going to try to hit some conventions in the UK this year. At least one or two. I want to at least hit 2 conventions this year. So that is the start of the bolter and the start of the new Sister Battle cosplay. We already have a helmet for it, and it is a lot of fun at parties. It is up on the wall right now, and I don't feel like taking it down. So yeah, now let's get to the other thing that I wanted to talk about in today's video. Bingo! So this is my crazy prediction bingo for this year, and we're going to go into it. So GW makes a female custodian. For some reason, there's this whole controversy on the internet right now that GW made the female custodians no longer canon, which is just not true because GW, 1, has no canon, and 2, they didn't do that. They just copy-pasted a couple of paragraphs into a book that is a few years old, and was released this year. So it is a few years old because it took a few years to make the book, and then it was just copy-pasted from the last Codex and into that book, and people for some reason think female custodians aren't canon, even though GW put an animation out for it and a story in the Codex for it. My chair is making a lot of noise. Yeah, so I think GW is just going to finally release a female custodian. I don't know how or why. I think it's just going to be a regular looking custodian, and they're just going to say it's a woman. That's where I think we're at with this. The next one is Glanhounds for Chaos Space Marine Kill Team. More specifically, I want to see Glanhounds for a Slaanesh, or not Slaanesh, an Emperor's Children kill team. I think this is the perfect place to put in Fabius Bile's creation of the Glanhounds. If you don't know what the Glanhounds are, it's basically like proto-Astartes mixed in women, and they're not Astartes. Calm down, they're not Astartes, but they're just as powerful, but they're just crazy. They're super cool, and I think it would make for a really, really cool, like, almost think the 8-bound for Chaos World Eaters, where this could be the Emperor's Children, like, possessed unit. And I think that would be cool. New Felinid in an Abhuman box set. Again, I think this is going to be Kill Team, and I think it's going to be fun. My cat is currently scratching at the door somewhere. I think there is going to be an Abhuman Kill Team box set that just includes a few different Abhumans. And I feel like this would be perfect for an Imperial Agents, like, Kill Team, because I feel like Kill Team is the place where they can have fun miniatures. They can have all of this silly stuff. There's Kovu. And I really, really think that it'll be great. And just to put a Felinid in there, it would just be funny. New Votann leader on a bike for 40k. This, I think, will be the model for the Votann release, and I could just see it. It's like a call on a bike, on a trike, or on some type of quad. It feels like it would fit into the theme of the release of Votann, and I think this is an easy one. Okay? These are, by the way, my predictions for this year, 2025. A new AdMech named character. Now, I had a joke about this. So the only AdMech named character in the Codex currently is Belisarius Cawl. Now, as an April Fool's joke, I think they should re-release Belisarius Cawl, the exact same kit, exact same model, everything. Nothing has changed at all, not even paint job. It's the exact same model, and they just call it the Cawl Inferior, and it's their April Fool's joke. I think this would be fucking hilarious. This would make me laugh so hard. I would be so happy with this. But I would like to get, some of the named characters from even the Mechanicus game would be really nice. But there is a ton of named characters in the lore for AdMech that we could add to 40k. Heresy gets an FAQ or points adjustment. Now, I know a lot of people for some reason are saying Heresy's getting a 3rd edition already, and that just sounds stupid. I think it's just going to be an FAQ. I don't want a third edition, to be honest. I think the game is perfect the way it is right now. I just think that some points need to be adjusted. Like, I know the big one is everyone's going to be like, oh, Contemptor Dreadnought's too powerful because I'm not smart enough to bring rending weapons. Or fucking anything with Brutal. But I think they just need to go up 10 points and they're fine. That's it. Base model 10 points is increase. Bikes need to go down in points. They're way too expensive. Attack bikes need to go down in points. Land speeders need to go up in points. Certain Primarchs can go down in points. They're way too weak. The Interruptor squad can go up almost 100 points. That squad is way too good. The Deathwing Terminators can go up in points. The Storm Shield Terminators, any variety of those can go up in points. I just think that Heresy needs an FAQ and a points adjustment. I really do. But I don't want it every 3 months. I will take one every year. That would be what I want. A new Dark Mechanicus army for Heresy. I don't think it's going to be released this year, but maybe next year, 2026. But I could definitely see, with all of the stuff they're adding to Legions Imperialis to try to get people to play that dead game, I can see them trying to add these models to Heresy proper. I'm joking about Legions Imperialis. I know there's a lot of players to it. It's just not a very popular game. The Demon Primarchs become playable in Heresy. This, I think, is a pretty easy one. We're already getting Ascended Primarchs. In Heresy, we have Ascended Horus and Ascended Fulgrim, or Transcended, whatever. I just think the other Demon Primarchs are going to be playable, and maybe even some of the ones that are later in the lore. But I also think that we're probably going to get Ascended versions of the Loyalist Primarchs, like Ascended Guilliman, like Heroism Guilliman or some garbage like that. Just so GW can re-release the Primarchs and make them look way better. New plastic super heavies for Heresy. This is going to piss off a lot of people, but I don't think super heavies have a place in 40k currently. The Thunderhawk is not going to be playable in 40k. I don't think the Warhounds or any of the Titans should be playable in 40k. I think they should only be playable in Heresy. Now, that being said, I still think that they should have Legends rules for 40k. But hands down, I do think that we need the other plastic super heavies, like the Fellblade, the Mastodon, the maybe a Thunderhawk, but I don't care about the Thunderhawk as much. I built a Thunderhawk recently, and oh my god, that model was a nightmare. But I would like to see like a plastic Warhound, or maybe just a plastic Porphyron. I'd be happy with those. Heresy gets a TTRPG game setting. I think this one is pretty easy. They can put it into Wrath and Glory, or they can put it into the new game, which is called Imperial Maledictum. I did have to look at my shelf to see it. I think this one is pretty easy. Demons don't get a Codex this year. I have a sneaking suspicion that Demons are not going to get a Codex. I know a lot of people online are talking about Demons not getting a Codex. They already have 5 detachments at this point. So that is the normal amount for an army. And I think we're actually going to see Demons get rolled into, in 11th edition in a few years, or next year, we're going to see Demons get rolled into a Chaos Index. Just with Chaos Space Marines and Chaos Demons. And I think that is the way that they should go, and I really like that. But they're playable now. The Eldar Codex comes out, and it's way too powerful. This I think is a free spot. It's just, Eldar are always way too powerful when they come out. They are always the strongest army or the weakest army. There is no in between. They're either absolutely amazing god tier models or terrible. And it has been that way since they've been created. My free spot is Codex Marines still feel mid. I played the Ultramarines one. I played it a few times now. It still very much feels mid to me. Strictly to me. I know that they can win tournaments and I know that they're really good. But strictly to me, it just feels mid. Beloved models and units get Legend. I can 100% see this, especially with the next spot on the list. Codex Space Wolves removes a ton of units. I think we're going to see the end of the Wolfguard battle leaders, the Terminator battle leaders, and the regular battle leaders. I think all of those are going away, and it's going to make me cry. I think the Wolf Codex is going to get absolutely bodied by a Codex. Index right now, it's still kind of fun to play, even though they've nerfed the wolves into the ground. I still have fun playing them, but I feel like the final nail in the coffin is going to be a Codex release for them. I feel like it's right there. It's just going to hurt them. It's going to be the nail in the coffin. But that being said, these Space Wolf Thunderwolves do have a new edition box art for their models. But it doesn't say Wolfguard Battle Leader on the back of it. That's what's got me worried. Some beloved models that are going to be legends, I think, is going to be if they do release a Chaos Demon Codex, the Soul Grinder is going to be gone. The Soul Grinder is barely available online and is a direct order model. I do believe that most direct order models are going to be legends over time. So that's just my codexes and miniatures. The first one was GW's new models. Second one was Heresy. This one was this one. Now we're going on to Old World. Old World I'm excited for. I want to paint stuff Old World. So Old World picks up in popularity. I think this is already happening, and I can see that GW is... ultimately, GW competes with itself when it comes to tabletop games. There's very few other tabletop war games that really compete with Warhammer. The one that really should have was Star Wars, but that died, which sucked. I really liked the Star Wars game, and I liked Armada and X-Wing, but, you know, they died. I think Old World is going to start filling a niche that people really, really, really like, especially people who like Conquest. If you haven't played Conquest, highly recommend that you try Conquest. It's a really fun game that plays like old Warhammer Fantasy, or Old World in this case. There's Kofu. Look at him. I love him. Old World lore deviates. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that they had to change names because of copyrights and things like that, like with Marathi's son and stuff like that. I mean the lore deviates completely. I want to see it go with some big named character not appearing or just not being a part of the setting, so that it has its own existence as a separate universe. I like the idea that Old World is not just Warhammer Fantasy that leads up to AOS. I want it to be Warhammer Fantasy written by people who like Warhammer Fantasy and wanted it to stay Warhammer Fantasy. So yeah, Old World 2nd Edition is leaked. I think this is going to be pretty obvious. I do think the next box set is going to include Cathay. I think it's going to be Cathay versus Demons because of the success of the computer games, Warhammer Total War. So I think it's going to be Tzeentch versus Cathay. And I think that would be really cool. And that's the leak that I think is going to happen. Do I have any proof of this whatsoever? Absolutely not. I have no insider information, and I don't go onto any of the sites that rumor anything. Old World removes the Legends rule. Now, when I say this, I mean that they remove it completely, and those armies are just now made playable. And GW will have to be forced to support them. I think when they made Old World, they made it during they finished it during the start of COVID, and then COVID slowed it down, and I think that's why they did so many Legends rules for it. But I do think that we are going to see these armies get proper armies in the future. I think with the launch of 2nd edition, we will get no Legends rules anymore. It'll just be armies. Brand new army added to Old World. It's going to be Cathay. Now going on to, this is my drama / internet rumor section. So AOS drops in popularity slightly, and Chuds go crazy over it. AOS has had it rough in this new edition, and I have seen that its population, holy cow, its popularity has dipped a little bit online. Not with painters. Painters absolutely love AOS because all of the models are beautiful, but its player base has dropped a little bit. Not even, I would say by maybe 1 to 5%. That's it. But people are going to go crazy over this and say that AOS is dead and Old World is now taking its place. Blah 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 blah. You know, they're gonna make it internet drama-y. Okay. The next is custodian drama continues even when proven wrong. Even after GW releases another Tithe or another female custodian, or the Amazon show shows a female custodian, or blah blah blah, the drama is going to continue, and people are still going to make up that stupid fucking rumor about Amazon forcing diversity, which Amazon does not give a shit about diversity. They only care about money. That is all that Amazon cares about. They do not give a shit about diversity at all. If diversity is in it, cool. Does it make them money? That's all they care about. GW does not answer to fucking anybody when it comes to their IP, and they are extremely protective over their IP. It's why it took like almost a year or two to negotiate with Henry Cavill and Amazon for the use of their IP, because this is the first time GW is really like letting it out there, and they're risking it. And they are the ones in control of their lore, not anybody else. All things need to be approved by Games Workshop. They are extremely protective. So I think the drama is still going to continue, and people are still going to make up things. And anytime you see somebody say female custodian in a negative light, just know that they hate women, and that's all they care about. They don't care about the lore, because you never saw this over the Rogel Dorn Knights or anything else. Like the Rogel Dorn just getting added to the lore war. What is it? Fuck, what are they called? Not the Phantom Titan, the Wraith Guard. No, the Wraith Knight. Oh my god, I'm dumb. The Wraith Knight getting added to the lore, no one cared. All the new Warp Spider Exarch just coming back, no one cared about. That doesn't change the lore or anything. They don't care about that. They only hate women. Just know that. That is it. Okay. Warhammer YouTuber drama exposed. I hope it's not me. I don't think that I caused too much drama anymore. I kind of just laid low for a few years after my whole drama stuff. But yeah. GW makes massive profit. It's pretty much a given. GW is only on the rise. They're just going to keep making record profit after profit. So this is my 2025 bingo, and I'm only going to count it as a bingo if I get a straight line down or a straight line across. So either this way or this way. I'm not counting diagonals, okay? We're going to try to get a bingo. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. There are some that I don't think are going to happen, like the female custodian model. I don't see. Although maybe. There's a chance. There's a chance if there's a book on that custodian that's in the Codex, because then GW will release a commemorative model for it. But yeah, this is my predictions and everything. This is my hope for the future of, the next year. But there's also other stuff that I want to talk about. The other stuff is I want to finish off my Slaanesh sleeve. So if you guys don't know, I have Slaanesh tattooed on my arm. Yes, I know that this is fan artwork and not GW's official artwork, but this looks better than GW's official artwork of Slaanesh. And I want to get the other greater demons going down my arms. I want to get Celesk, Teledal, Zarakanil, what else is it? Shalaxi, and some of the other ones that only appear in fantasy. But I really want to get the rest of the demons tattooed down my arm, and I want to get a few more tattoos, because of course I do. Kovu is sleeping over there, and with that, I think we're going to end this video. Tell me what you guys are excited for in the future of Warhammer for this year, for your hobby, junk, and stuff. I'm hoping for a new box game, something similar to Hero Quest right over there. Whoop. There we go. If we can get something new like that, like the Warhammer Quest, I would be very happy as well. So, with that, tell me what you think for this year. Tell me if your last year was good or bad. For me, it was meh. It was kind of bad. But, you know, just hype it up. What are you hyped for next year? As always, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.